We are going on live right now. We are live. We're going to say hi to our viewers out there on in YouTube television. Hey guys. Hey everyone. Today we are joined by Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and we have Afi Kingdom here, the king. What up, man? Rock and roll. And I'm Robert at Command Your Confidence. And today we want to talk to you about why men fail with women, because sometimes I made a lot of mistakes when I was young that I wasn't aware of, and I think that it's good to kind of make men aware of some of the mistakes that they are making, so they can have that realization and like kind of figure out how to like move past that. So to get started, I will get your guys' input. So Lucario, what do you think are some of the reasons why men fail with women, like when they're trying to work on it, or maybe they're not even trying to work on it, they just want to date girls and they're not having success.
I think one of the biggest things is like guys have limiting beliefs about women, like what they can do when it comes to attracting women. So you got a lot of guys who they feel like, well, I got to look a certain way, I got to have a certain amount of money, I got to be a certain type of guy in order to get a certain type of girl. Meaning they say, well, if I want a girl who's really hot, if I'm not above a certain height, if I don't have a certain look, a girl like that would never want me. So they're already defeating themselves from the jump. So what happens is, what they don't realize is the reason why they don't get those girls is not because of those things. It's because they think those things are the reason why the girl's not gonna like them, and then so they start acting weird and funny style around the girl, and then she's not really feeling him because he's not feeling himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens a lot of times in these situations. It's terrible.
Right. And you think they kind of get that from like what they see like in the media and stuff like that? They feel that they got to live up to a certain standard and expectation. And when they see that they lack that, it kind of affects their mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Because the media and just stuff they see, just out here, especially now because we have social media, they're seeing more and more things of people, posting certain things. It's a lot of stuff that's fake. And so they take this as reality. And if they're not living that type of life, or they're not around those type of things, then they think that's out of their reach. So they'll see certain women who are, that are like models and stuff that look really good. And they're like, man, I could never get a girl like that. And again, it comes back to them seeing themselves as the type of person that can't make it happen, or they can't have it. And then as soon as they do that, it's a wrap. It's over. They gotta reprogram their mind so they can actually make something go down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And a lot of what you're saying is true, because like I kind of, I had a lot of those beliefs, because I couldn't, I was like, my mindset was there because I believed I had to look and, they talk about the Chads and Tyrones, which you hear a lot about on the internet. You got to be like the tall guy. You got to have like the money and, the status, whatever that is. And, and that kind of hindered me from like growing and, moving forward. And I realized if I wanted to like kind of get out of the, move forward, I'd had to like change the way I think, believe about those things and everything.
Right.
And I think like that can be a problem because, when you go on these social media sites and you go on these other sites and they say, well, this is the cause of the problem. You can't have this. They're blaming because you have money, you got to have status. People are going to begin to believe that, and they overlook that they have the power within themselves to do that.
Right. Now that's real talk. And I mean, unfortunately, because there's so many guys who aren't confident, it's easier for them to fall into the trap of thinking that they will never be able to attract the type of woman they want. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the part that sucks. So that's how, like coaches like us, we're trying to tell these guys this, but it's up to them to first believe that it's possible to happen. And it's hard for guys to do that when they've been consistently in situations where they've never experienced any type of success in the situation. So, it's crazy.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that, Alfie?
What's cold, Lucario, is this. A lot of guys, the woman they want, they wouldn't even want them if they got them, bro. Like they just focus on the one part. They don't think about the other parts. Like it's like they look at it like she's gonna come. She comes to them as they desire, and it just stays that way.
Right.
Like no, bro. It's not it, bro. Shit is hard work.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's facts. That's
Watch out.
I don't know, but don't you think too? A lot of guys too, like put on that nice guy persona too, and that can keep them the fail with women. Like they, how they believe they gotta like kind of kiss the girl's ass and stuff, and I mean maybe and also when they're nice guys, it makes them afraid to be like sexually confident around them, make them put the move on the girl because they're afraid of losing the girl if they put the move on the girl. So I mean that could be another factor as well.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, it also too, it's like a paradox. Like this, the guy who doesn't have experience with women, he listens to what women say. So women will say, "I want a nice guy who's going to treat me right and do all this stuff." So the guy's like, "Okay, I'm going to be that guy," and then he's trying to be that guy, and then she's not attracted to him, and he's confused. You know what I'm saying? And then therefore, he gets even more and more insecure and frustrated. And so because he's more and more insecure and frustrated, he doesn't know how to step his game up to become the more confident guy that she actually would want. So it's a thing where, again, the guy has to be in a situation where he can say to himself, you know what? I'm ready to like flip the script and change so that I can actually become the type of guy that can get these girls. Like, what do I need to learn? What do I need to do? But unfortunately, this is what I've noticed with a lot of guys when it comes to game is that a lot of guys are very resistant to learning certain things that can help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because one, they don't believe it's true. So they're like, oh, this is a waste of time. I'm not going to bother doing this. And two, if they do believe it can help them out, they're too lazy to actually learn the things that they need to do and stick with it to, see progress. So that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
What do you think? Is that again that all boils down to mindset too, right? Because they just don't believe that like none of this stuff is possible, like, or maybe like they just don't want to put in the work. They just expect it to come easy, but you got it. But I realized like when I was kind of working on making a change that like I knew like even though like I was lazy and like my mindset was kind of crappy at the time, I knew I was going to have to find kind of change that if I wanted to get success. I had to be open to listening to what someone was going to have to say if I wanted to move forward in my life. And, I think a lot of guys have a hard time realizing that.
No, that's facts. That's real talk. It's tough. It's tough because I feel like the problem that these dudes have a lot of times is they just don't stick with it enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's one of a big issue too, is that when I say stick with it, they don't stick with, like anything or trying to make anything happen enough. So meaning they won't stick with learning what to do. And then let's say they do stick with learning what to do. They're like, I say, okay, go out there and go and approach women. They won't stick with approaching women. They'll approach like 4 girls, and that'll be the end of it. And they give up if they don't get what they want out of those 4 girls. So it's like a lot of these dudes, they don't stick with the situation long enough to see progress, and then it's just like they just stay in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to. It's like this. A lot of times the reason is not the game. It's not even a lot of times people teaching game. Is that individual making the choice to get out of their own way to learn the game? You see what I'm saying? And that's a big ass issue, is that there's so many people in their own way. It's not because it's the thing. If it was the fault of women or game or like whatever it is, if those things were messed up, then nobody would be succeeding. You understand what I'm saying? But obviously there are people out here getting things going and things are popping off. But the problem is that, it's up to that individual for them to find out how to make it pop off for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is,
So what do you think it takes for someone to make, get the pop off for them? Is it just like kind of just, again, the mindset thing, but what could help, pivot them in the right direction? Because I mean, there's a lot of forces working against them, and feel free to chime in too anytime, Afi, if you'd like with your input as well.
Let me just say it before I shift, because this is from real shit, and probably I know you agree too, and it's something that really it's been talked about, but not in the way that it should be, and that's just that some cat we not all supposed to be good at it. It's just some cats not ready. Like, in my opinion, you don't see who a man is until you see him with heartbreak. You see the coldest cast by a woman though. Like even I have omit some shit. I do it in private. Not that I be doing it in private, but you feel me? Like I ain't gonna call and be like, oh, I'm so stressed. You know what I'm saying? The most I do is ask for some advice. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, hey, bro, come over here and cry with me because I'm sad. You feel me?
Right.
So they just not. It has to be a balance in the universe because the women like the asshole cats, the bad boys, because of the way the Sims make them feel. If they didn't feel like that, they wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
That contrast, like, ooh, I need some excitement. You feel me? Well, if you ain't never been bored, then what is excitement? You know?
It's interesting.
Right. I mean, don't you think too that I know you think a lot of the like guys too, like they use women, they blame the women as the reason why that they can't have success rather than look, because you guys, I mean, especially like I hear you guys talk about that on your show a lot, Locario, that a lot of guys will blame the women for their problems and stuff and not look into themselves.
Right.
I mean, is that and that could be another common issue, because I mean, I think at one point I did that too, and I had to learn to shift away from that. Because I realized, like, it's not me. It's it's not the girls. It's me. It's something I got to work in the way I'm thinking and my perspective on life.
Yeah, because I mean, well, the thing is, it's almost like one of the things is you got to understand. See, the problem is the blame comes from not understanding. Because when you understand something, when you understand what you're dealing with or the situation you're in, then there's no reason to necessarily blame unless you're being extremely disingenuous. So, for example, if I'm in a situation where, I'm like, I don't know, like there's a crazy dog behind a gate, a Rottweiler, just ready to bite anybody who comes across the gate. And if I decide to jump over the gate and get bit by the dog, right? I can't sit there and blame the dog and get mad at the dog for biting me. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I should have known that. So the thing is that a lot of these guys, what happens is that in situations where they don't know certain things about women, so when women do certain things, they're like, oh, she's messed up, why would she do this and all that? But it's like you haven't been in enough situations to realize that this is normal. You understand? So like if a girl flakes on him, he's pissed off and angry and it's like, yo, this is normal. This is like, this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not anything that's like unique to you or not anything that just like, women do, because, men flake also, you know what I'm saying? So, right. So the thing is once they understand that this is a normal occurrence, and if they have enough awareness to understand that, then that wouldn't necessarily be an issue because it would be part of the entire situation, meaning like the flaking is part of the entire situation. So you can't necessarily you don't necessarily get upset at it. You understand? You just kind of disregard it. It's like eating pizza. Like let's say you eat pizza, you don't like the crust. Some people just eat the pizza and throw away the crust or just leave the crust there. If you don't like the crust, I've never seen anyone eat pizza and get mad at the crust and just be like, damn, this fucking crust and blah, blah, blah. They just don't mess with it. They just leave it there and they just accept that that's part of the pizza. So it's the same situation in here. You accept that part of dealing with women is women gonna flake. You know what I'm saying? And until you get to that point where you have that awareness, you're gonna always be mad at that because you don't understand yet. You see what I mean? Right. And you think it's something personal or crazy. You know what I mean?
So you're saying most guys, like, they have this, like, they don't have that much experience with them, and they have these like high expectations and expect a lot of them, but since they don't have that experience, and when women disappoint them and everything, that kind of just gets them more frustrated and lost.
And also it intensifies too, because remember, if you're the type of guy who has a hard time to get girls, and let's say this might have been the first girl you got within like 7 months. It's been a drought and it's been like 7 months, and then you finally got a date, and then she flakes on you, you friggin' flip out because you're in scarcity. So, that's the thing. But the more well versed the guy gets in the game, even if he's not with a woman and for a while and she still does flake, he won't even be that upset because he understands it to a level where he realizes that it's not that big of a deal, because he understands that no matter what the situation is, he's still cool. Everything is good. He'll find another girl. He'll do some other thing on his day off or whatever. He's good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So so you're saying in order for someone to kind of overcome that, they kind of got to put themselves out there and get that experience in the game, like, go out there and, get more women, then kind of learn, they kind of have to deal with like some of the hardships that come with, trying to get good with women, and not, just have like, this idea that everything's just going to come to them very easily, right? They just got to like, you know, have that experience and just kind of accept the situation for what it is, learn from it, and then move forward and like know what to do next time. And the more they get, experience the game, the more they're not going to, the less frustrated, I should say, they're going to be.
Right, exactly. That's real shit. Who's that saying? Jada said game is overrated. That's funny.
Hey, I seen y'all little y'all chop up too. That's funny. Hey, hey, Locario, Jada made a video about me too. Guess what the video was? Matter of fact, Jada, we can solve the problem right now. So this is what our argument was. We had an argument in the DMs, then he wouldn't have made a video because he told me that bitches don't like cologne, and I was appalled. Like, you guys be fucking kidding me, bro. And he went bar for bar with me, and then he made a video.
Wait, is this the same dude that I was on Instagram with?
I know Jada. It's him. Yeah.
It's the same dude that was talking about all his money and all that.
Yeah, that's him right there.
Oh, this dude.
This is the guy you're talking about right here?
Yeah, that's Jada right there. What's up, Jada?
Funny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. He said mouthpiece gamers already. But that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm talking about, where guys don't really have the same type of they don't have the same type of experience. Because think about it this way. If you let's say you experience getting something by, let's say you go to the store, right, with your friends, and then y'all go there all the time and buy 25-cent quarter waters. They used to have this back in the day called quarter waters. This is waters you buy for a quarter, right? So let's say you go there and buy quarter waters every afternoon with your friends. And then let's say one day you go there and you be like, yo, I ain't got a quarter, but I'm really thirsty, and I'm a cool kid from around the way, and what I'm saying, like, just hook me up, right? And then so you get the water without having to pay the quarter. You feel what I'm saying? So now was able to use your mouthpiece, your verbal skills in order to get the water for free. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that you have guys out there who they've never been able to do that or experience that, meaning they've never been able to experience just having a conversation with a woman, that woman just being into them because of the conversation, their vibe, their energy, and wanting to be with them freely without any other thing that they need to do extra. You see what I'm saying? And so guys like that, because they haven't experienced it, they think, it's only designated for certain guys. Like, oh, you got to be a certain, height or look or whatever, and then you'll get that. But the fact is that because they've never experienced it, it seems impossible, and then therefore this is why they say it's overrated. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no idea what that's like in general. You see what I'm saying? Or they do know what it's like, but it's happened so far and few in between, or they feel like they've had to spend more time doing it and go above and beyond, and that's why they're at the mindset they are. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Well, I mean, but that's but that's one of the things I've learned though, like, because like this kind of like I said, that was one of my challenges, overcoming my mindset when trying to work on this, because like I realized. I mean, I was going out there, I was doing the work and everything, but I wasn't getting success. But maybe it's because I was more focused on the result rather than just the learning, just learning the thing. But when I kind of took like a different direction with it and just kind of learned to enjoy the process, like, it just, I just started to see more results and, began to feel more confident. And I just didn't give a fuck if like I got rejected or not, and like, I just kind of like right now I'm just kind of learning the point, and I mentioned this on an earlier show where I'm just, I've been out socializing so much where I'm just kind of learning how to be more authentic rather than, doing a script that I was taught how to do, and I was really starting to get out there, like, just to have conversations.
You know why that is? Because you came from the pickup side, bro. That's why. And they're hella technical and shit. Like first time I heard Myron, I was like, he fucks with that PUA shit.
Right.
That's the
and I did can't come
it's
from
a whole vibe. You know what I'm saying? The way they look at it, think of it, value it. You just and think of the woman and shit. It's like a whole. So as soon as I heard like, okay, you fucks with that shit. Okay.
Right. Well, I did work with this other mentor. He gave me more of a script, just to kind of like, every time just go, after you can be direct with the girl, then talk about her job and work on building a connection. And that's what I used all the time. I mean, it's giving me conversation, but I mean, to me, it just wasn't coming off as authentic though. And, but I just kind of had the, oh, we're going to.
No, Locario, you know who has some fire game pickup? Fucking DWLF game, Addy. Addy had fire game.
Oh, yeah, I remember that dude.
Yeah, because he has little shit. I talked to him since he got out and shit. So
right,
he has some fire game. I'm like, yeah, bro, you need to just be on just the all across shit, because he know the shit for reals. Like, he was underrated.
Right.
He had a big ass book too, and shit was like 500 pages.
Damn.
I'm like, damn, bro. It was, shout out to him.
That's funny. He said pick up his robotic game without soul. That's hilarious.
That's a good one, Trev.
I mean, that's the funny part about that shit is that like, a lot of it's funny, the guys who are really good at like talking to women and interacting with women is guys that could like that go with their feeling. You understand what I'm saying? That's generally like the thing, that because you connect more with a woman when you go with your feeling and your gut, meaning like you're able to, when you're talking to the girl, especially like if you're being real authentic, like the best times, and this is the funny part, the times when it was easiest for me to pull a girl or get a chick was the women that I was really, really attracted to, like really, really feeling. I thought they was like hot. I was into them, whatever. And the reason why that is because I'm authentically like, I actually feel like I want her that bad. You understand what I'm saying? In that situation. So a lot of times guys, they say to me, hey, would it be easier for me to try to talk to girls that are like average or ugly, or girls I'm not really feeling? I'm like, not really, because you're not really feeling her. You got to go for the girls that you see them and you be like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get that double take. You're like, yo, I got to go holler. You got to have that feeling, because that feeling is real and it's authentic. So when you talk to her, what happens is that she's reciprocating and she's showing interest, right? That only increases and intensifies your interest in the situation and what you're saying to her. So now it's almost like you're going back and forth. It's like you're playing tennis. You hitting the ball to her, she hitting the ball to you, hitting the ball to her, she hitting the ball to you. But it's coming off very natural to the point where you're not even thinking about it. So a lot of times, the problem with a lot of times when dudes had like the pickup artist energy, it was just being like calculated to a point where you're not even in the moment technically with the girl, feeling the interaction. You see what I'm saying? So when you have that feeling in the situation, a lot of times it's a way better, interaction, and you connect with the chick more, and a lot more times you'll make things happen because it's more of an authentic feel. So the thing is, if you put it out there and then you see that the girl is feeling you and she's reciprocating, it's more likely you're going to get her because she's feeling you too, and it's that mutual interest. But if she's not feeling you, what's going to happen is that it's going to be an easier thing to where she's most likely not going to waste your time or whatever. She'll probably just sort of like, reject you easily because she sees that you're feeling her, but she's not feeling that same energy. So the energies sort of clash, and then you just keep it pushing. But a lot of times when you're just like kind of going through the motions, or you're saying pickup lines, or you're just like trying to say things to seem cool, it doesn't really help you, because you're not really like authentic in that moment. You're not really there. You know what I'm saying? It's great.
So you're saying, though, if you have like the emotion, like you see the hot girl, like damn, and you go up there and you talk to her, you're going to project that and everything. But you got to be confident in projecting that, because some guys would find it hard to have that emotion because they're overthinking the situation.
Right. Right, and that's why it's good to learn how to or practice talking with women and doing all that stuff, because when you do find those girls that you're really feeling, you know you want to be already on point. You know what I'm saying? To know how to have those conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you talk about too, Afi. With I remember we were talking about this like a long time ago when I first started working with you. You mentioned something about the vibe and everything, going out there and see if you got the vibe with the girl and everything. Just have the conversation. If it's there, it's there.
I was an interesting kid, bro. Like I used to, when I was a kid, I liked to watch people. Like a lot. Like some kids will play, I sit back and watch.
Right.
And then I would just see who's doing what and how what is what. And then after kind of like see it a few times, it might be like it's time to try it. You know, so it's just not even just women. Just I don't know. That's not weird. But I'm just saying, somebody would say it's weird because that's not something that people would like to say that's what I do the similar shit now. But it's just it makes sense now because I'm grown. When I was a kid, I was just doing it. I don't know why I didn't have the what I'm saying. I know the reason and shit now. When I was doing it when I was a kid, I didn't really
Right.
But people just, like a lot of things are cause and effect, man. People just, they get so caught up in their ego and people I think it's expectation too was a lot, man. Expectation and entitlement, like regardless of who you date, man, you cannot make people do what you don't want them to do. And if you just recognize that'll take a lot of sweat off your balls right there. Like, because cats will be like, well, I got the game and I got status, so she needs to listen. Yeah, fool, but you like that. That's what make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? That's her code.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You may not fuck her good, or you may just whatever. You may like Alpha Villains. He made a good ass video too about losing a woman to a simp, and like. It was some boss shit because it's like people always want to roast simps, but sometimes people just another dude. Okay, like a lot of women who I used to fuck with, I can look at their Facebooks and I can see that they happy and in love and shit like that, and I don't look at it like, ooh, this guy was better than me. He just was willing to do some shit that I don't want to do. Like when you're dealing with women, it don't matter how much game you got or swag or whatever. For the most part. She gonna want some type of commitment, and some cats just not willing to give it. I'm not willing to give it, and regardless, she may even fuck with you, but she'll start phasing herself out. So it may not be just like the ultimatum, like all right, Locario, it's either you commit to me or not. It may not happen like that, but she may just be like, all right, I've been stuck on this nigga. Now let me start weighing my options. The other cat did offer me dinner like 3 months. I left that shit on red. Let me hard as shit and say, oh, I just happened to get this type of shit. Did that because that's all it takes. Women got it so easy. Women can come with any excuse. It don't even matter. If a woman left a cat on red, she can take 8 months. Oh,
we lost Locario.
It's the Holy Ghost.
Oh yeah, we'll continue. What were you saying though? We're getting back on.
It can be 8 months if as long as she say something that's not out of pocket, he in there. Because he want, especially if he never had sex with her, he like, yeah, whatever. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just came from space. That's what she said. She say, oh, I just came from space. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, how was space? Anyways, yeah, what's going on with you? Cats don't be, bro.
Okay, we got Locario's back.
Cut off. I was like, oh shit.
Locario.
Yeah, he's back.
You heard what I said?
No, I missed it. I cut off.
Tell me this ain't facts. For dudes, it don't take nothing. Like a dude, shut up. God damn it. Play because the light is off and shit. I'm trying to be on still late night shit. I don't feel like having lights on. My eyes hurt. You feel fuck that. Move. Damn, she made me forget what I was.
Look at it.
Fucking fly, bro. What's the last thing I said? See, you fucking me up, bro. What's the last thing I was? Oh, what I just say, Rob? What's the last thing I said? Oh, about women, how easy they got. Like,
yeah, how easy they got it. Yeah,
that's what you're saying. On red because dudes don't have no integrity. Like, she can leave a cat on Red for 10 months. All she gotta do is be like, I came from space.
Right.
I'm thinking about you. Oh, okay, so what's up with you? Oh, that's fucked up. Why you do me like that? But so where you at? What you been up? And the cats ain't gonna be like, man, you gotta be fucked up. They should, but they ain't.
Right.
Look,
Right.
the thing is, if they do, then she'll be like, oh, pressure's on now. Dude, like women be liking to get checked and put in place, bro. Y'all be knowing that. Y'all try to avoid what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You got it's like there is no makeup sex without breaking up. Like there has to be some shit going on, bro. You got they'll stress themselves out trying to keep the woman happy every day and be stressed about it. I kept her happy on Monday and Tuesday. Fuck, what can I come up with on Wednesday? Flowers. Okay, fuck, I did flowers 3 weeks in a row. What the fuck can I come up to? I'm a good morning text. Like it just goes on and on. You try to wake up. How could I please her today? But really be feeling like that's the way though. Not even because like it's not because she said you better do it or else. Like it's not even because that's what she's saying. That's why they're doing it. Like they be feeling like it's the weekend. If I don't, she look. She can be on the phone. Oh yeah, Locario, I'm trying to figure out a date night and stuff. You may not even have a date planned, but this you heard her say, you'd be like, oh shit, she wants to go. Right. That's how they be, man.
No, that's the thing
that's
is,
true, man.
Guys, man, I'm telling you. They have such a scarcity mentality, and they don't have. Truthfully, a lot of dudes is lazy, and so the problem is that because they lazy, they are the type of guys that's gonna wait around for a girl, or if a girl hit them up like 3 months, 4 months later, still be excited to see her and talk to her and still deal with her and all that other stuff, and unfortunately, that's a lot of guys out there, and see, guys have the. See, guys, we have the thing where on the front end we have to put in a lot of work to create a situation. Women have to put a lot of work to sort of keep a guy interested, but we got a lot of guys that want to have to deal with putting in the work to do the upfront work that's going to make them be able to have the situation they want to have. But the problem is that a lot of guys don't understand that they can make the game easier for them by putting in more work now. It's kind of like this. Like for a man who's well versed in the game and who has an easier time in the game is like an entrepreneur who've been working for years and they've been working for no money, and then all of a sudden they start making money and they blow up and now they rich. You understand? So it's the same thing for a guy when he's learning game. For a while, you're gonna be scraping your feet and your elbow's gonna get scuffed up and you're gonna go through a bunch of nonsense. But as you keep going, you get better at talking to women. You get more confident. You're not as scared to approach women. You get better at interacting with them. You get better at all these things. And once you get better at all these things, what happens is you start to get more and more women attracted to you. When you get more and more women attracted to you, you start to create rotations. When you have these rotations, then you're able to have girls that you can call on here and there. When you're able to do that, then you're not as thirsty when you're talking to another girl or another girl. And because you're not as thirsty, any other future girl you talk to, now they're more attracted to you because you become a man who is not as thirsty and as, acting weird like these other guys. So it all kind of snowballs when you're putting in that work, but you have to be able to not be lazy and put in that work that you need to put in now so you can get to the point where you don't have to put in as much work because you're really good at what you're doing and you have the know-how and you're just at a different mindset at this point. Because this is the thing too. This is another thing real quick I'm going to say is that you want to get to the point where you're almost like I feel like this. If you haven't gotten to a point where you could fall back and not even deal with women and it don't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like you don't feel like, oh, I have to go deal with women or you have the same desire. The only way you get to that point is by already gone through dealing with a lot of women or dealing with women in general. So what I mean is if you're the type of guy who's already had the baddest chicks, you're not so pressed when you see a hot chick. If you're the guy who's had so much sex, you're not pressed on just trying to have sex with a girl all the time. If you're the type of guy who can get a date and go on dates and stuff, you're not so pressed on getting a date or going on a bunch of dates because you've already done all these things already. You've been there, done that. You know what it is. So you can drop it and pick it up at any time. You know what I'm saying? You can say, look, I'm going to just chill right now. Or you can say, I'm going to go out here and go ham or however I want to do. Or I could get with one chick and just chill with her. Or I could have a rotation. But you have the skill to do any of those things you want. But unfortunately, a lot of guys, they don't take the time to put in any work. So they never get to the point where they can actually choose to do that. You know what I mean?
And you make it perfect. I like what you're saying. It's perfectly true. And I agree, you definitely got to put in the work. But what do you say to someone who or maybe this is an excuse that someone might give you, but say that they do a 9 to 5 job and they got to do this and stuff. I mean, what do you say to someone who uses that as an excuse? I used to use that as an excuse when I worked with my mentor like a couple of years ago. And so what do you say to that, though? Because that can be a hindrance. So, because some people get exhausted and stuff, they feel they got to have the energy and stuff to go talk to girls, but I mean that could just be an excuse too, just to get out of it.
Yeah, but that's a lot of that excuse is really just fear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because then it saves you from having to do it. Because on a legit, you can make it sound logically sound like, oh yeah, I got work, I got school, I ain't gotta, so it's easy to rationalize, but it's really you're saying it because of fear. But the thing is, if you desire to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. You're going to find a way. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to try to do this, or I'm on my way to school or work, I'm going to talk to some girl or whatever it is. You'll find a way or figure it out to get it to the next point. Because anything we want or desire, we're going to find a way to do it and make it happen.
I agree. Like, I mean, there's sometimes too, like where I was just super fatigued and shit. I didn't want to approach a girl, but I said, no, I'm going to create a new habit. And I did it anyways, even though it might not have been my best, approach, it's still, I went there and I did it. I made the moves and I made an attempt to socialize with the girl and get a date. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like developing like those habits and breaking out of that. But, I sometimes would use that, I'd use that as an excuse though. Like, I don't have the energy, but I say to myself too, if I'm not moving forward, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I say, well, okay, I'm not taking enough action. So I got to go take the action if you really want to make this happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a question for you, bro, because you've been coaching for since like 2010 and shit, hella long. So you coach through like different, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, all the changes. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that whole probably before 2010. That was just a shotgun. So you've just seen hella different phases of just man, and just like how these bitches just change and stuff like that. Like, what's the biggest? I won't even say difference or change, but the biggest thing that comes to mind, just from when you first started back in the day to like how it is now. Like, what type of shit did they used to come with back then, and like what now? You know what I mean? Like, what's like the main shit, just period? Like,
You saying as far as like the women is concerned, or just like
no, it's like coaching the men, like the difference between like the guy shit that they was dealing with back then. Because you've seen like just the shit, like flavor, like all that shit, like all those kind of bras like that. There's no more of that. It's morphed into this, and then just changed. And then dudes care about different shit, and so like, what I mean? What's something that sticks out, like just from coaching from fucking different phases of lives?
Yeah, that's a good question, Afi. I like that.
I feel
what I'm saying?
What I noticed is it just seemed like what it is. It got worse. Meaning, like, I'll say this: it got worse for the guys who have a hard time getting women, and it's better for the guys who are good at game or who are trying to get good at attracting women. So everything has gotten more intense. So for the guys who are lazy or who's kind of like, like whatever about it, it's getting worse for them. And for the guys who are trying and really trying to make it happen, it gets better. And the reason why, the change is because a lot of people say social media made things change. Now, the thing is this, it hasn't changed the natural instinct we have as men and women to date or anything like that. It hasn't changed like, man gets woman. None of that's changed. The only thing that's changed is access. So now, and when I say access, that means that we have more access now because of social media than we had back in even when I started, it was like 2008. So things were there, but it was new. It wasn't like how it is now. So now, because of the access, what happens is this. If I'm coaching a guy and, back in the day when the social media wasn't popping, right? There was more people going out to bars, clubs. People still do that, but there's more online dating, whatever. But there was more like, there's a little bit more community aspect of it. Like, we're just going to go out and then the girls that are here, those are the girls that are here. And we're the guys who are here and they got to pick from that. Now that we have more access to social media, when you hollering at a girl, she has more access to more men that want to holler at her.
True.
So therefore, if you're a guy whose game sucks, it's going to be harder for you to stand out because she has a larger pool of men to choose from, which means there's more likely a guy who's more attractive than you that she has access to. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you are the guy who's good at game and you're teaching guys the game and stuff like that, or who's trying to get better at the game, it's going to be easier for you because you are the guy who she's looking for. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to coaching, the guys who need the most coaching are the guys that have a hard time. But because there's more access of men around for these women, the guys who are having a hard time are going to have a harder time because there's more of a pool of men that she can choose from. So if you're the guy whose game sucks, it's going to be harder for you to do it. Now, the problem is with this, where guys nowadays versus before. Before, guys were a little bit more enthusiastic to learn this stuff. Nowadays, they're less enthusiastic because what happens is that, remember, back in 2008, there was no MGTOW. There was no red pill. There was none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now that came out, and I'm not like shitting on it necessarily. I'm just saying that because that came out, guys gravitated more to that because that was the easier thing to gravitate to. And then therefore that gets more in their head, which makes it even harder for them to learn game or learn how to be attractive to women and make stuff happen. So now it becomes even a thing where all these guys are like, just kind of like, forget it. I'll give up. I'm done. I'm just gonna chill and then so they're like, but they still want girls. So now there's this thing of get your money up. Girls are gonna chase you if you have money, all that other extra stuff. And now guys are on that thing. So it just morphed into this whole crazy thing, and that changed because of the access. You see what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
But it's funny. I don't even believe in you mentioned about the money thing. I know some people with a lot of money and stuff. They when I go out to the club with them, man, they just like stand around. They don't even know how to talk to girls. And they kind of go cheer me on as I'm talking to the girls. And the one guy, I remember he was trying to impress. We were out. I run meetup events for singles and stuff, and he was right there. And he had this like fancy car, and he was trying to impress the girls with this fancy car. And I was saying to my buddy, I'm like, he's using that just to get their attention.
That would be my number one go-to. If I did that I would never even initiate, hey, what's your name? Or you got a man. It would always be like, hey, I'm a single. Then we can get to the other shit. So now who's already interested in your shit, because bitches like to party. You feel me? So you might be offering free shit. That's their language. And if it ain't, they gonna sit it. And by that time, you done already sold her on your charisma. Or better laugh 2 or 3 times. Like, hey, Hey, how you doing? Oh, okay. Maybe. But I do that. Oh, okay. Well, how to do? Put that on the card. You got that on. You don't got it on your card, do you?
What, my meetup thing on there?
No.
No, I'll put that on there. But no, but doing that though, it's caused me, like, I've networked with other groups and stuff, so I kind of got some status through that. I got some guy who runs nightclub events and stuff, and then
you got a dog. You don't even use that. I said, bro, you're not even. I just left him alone about it. You used the dog yet? No, I bit, bro.
I took my dog out to the park, and there was no one there, but I'll do it again, dude. But But no, it's okay. I didn't think about putting the meetup thing on there. I like you calling me out of my shit. But no, I agree with what you said.
You the one gonna benefit.
I the one what?
I said you the one gonna benefit.
Right.
I know. Well, but I was gonna say something too. Like, I agree with something like Locario said too. I think a lot of people like have become lazy when it comes to learning the game because they, like we talked about earlier, they see all this like stuff on, the internet that is against that. And I think it just makes them angry and not want to do them. And they're kind of, and they see some other guy teaching this, and they're going at doing like they're working on their money and stuff, and that's like the wrong way instead of working on their mouthpiece and stuff like that. I mean, and that's something that I kind of got sidetracked on too when I was kind of, because I just wanted just to be the more confident, authentic thing. But when I came across that other stuff, like it kind of like, blocked it, it's kind of like it blocked me and put a block in me, and it just kind of threw me off my path through it. Like when I was going out there and doing this, like I kind of thought to myself, well, but maybe because I'm not high status, this isn't working for me. And I had to learn to kind of like slowly drift away from all that because I knew, I eventually realized that was like, having me think the wrong thoughts and mindsets that I needed to have for success.
Right.
I got one more question, Locario, too, because I know what I'd be doing too. I'm glad I thought of it because I'd have been pissed if we fucking got this shit. I would have DM you to ask you because it'd be random. Fucking glad I remember.
Right.
When you meet girls, what do you tell them their occupation is?
I told them I'm a dating coach, and then they be asking me a billion questions.
Yeah, I didn't know if we went with entrepreneur because I go with author. That's what I go with.
Right.
Yeah. And that's just for other reasons, not even just the obvious shit. Because that opens up other kind of doors from the gate. Then, you know what I'm saying? I either go with there or I'll go with podcaster.
Right.
Yeah, either or a content creator. It depends on the chick. If it's this content, they probably content creator. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm YouTube. I could be a YouTuber too. It depends on that vibe right there. It's all the same thing, but it's three different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yes, hey.
It's funny because they be looking and they look your shit up. You know what I'm saying? And then they be like stalking you and shit after that. They be like, "Oh, I'm watching all your shit." You
got fans and everything. I know. I tell some girls about this show. Then we actually, some of them like are interested that I do this, and they want to actually get on the stream. Like this one girl, Karen's been on a show with Afi, and I remember Karen. Remember Karen Afi, right?
Yeah, that's the little cat. I heard you was dancing, being freaky. You owe me an apology, Karen, because I asked Rob to ask you for the pictures. I didn't receive any pictures. I received a group picture. I want a personal. That's what I wanted. I told why you think I called you a kitty cat? You think I called you a kitty cat for group pics?
Karen did say she's like, I got to meet Afi in person.
Do the math. I'm got the kitty cat. That's the.
I wanted to meet you in Trav.
Say, you gotta give 0 fucks. That's how you win, because I don't care. I'm Blaze. I'm chilling. With Locario and Rob. And my brothers in the chat, Trav. That's my
Alpha Bills. We got Bernie.
I'm chilling. Energy.
That's funny.
Oh God. But and then another thing too, like I think like a lot of guys too, like I mean, some people want to just have that. You were talking earlier too about like a lot of guys just want that one girl and everything. And I think like, and then like I said, they're afraid to lose that one girl. Instead, they're like when they're kind of with that one girl. I mean, even when I was kind of,
I had one night was stupid.
What?
I even my stomach hurt even thinking of reminiscing about feelings I used to have. Like it's like,
right? I know.
I remember it. Look, cheating and everything. That's what the ego do. I got a girl. I'm cheating on her ass like a motherfucker. As soon as she leaves me, I want to stop doing everything. I just need her in my life. All this shit. I'm just, even though just last week I'm just doing this, doing that. All you know. What I mean, I bring it back. So when she stopped answering the calls, it's like I'll play piano for you. Just like, God damn, bro. That's how it works. That's the kryptonite, bro. Figured it out on accident. Crazy shit.
Yeah, no, it's but I mean, I do think like like too, like when you're kind of going out there, you gotta in order to avoid that scarcity mentality, you do got to go out there and approach and date more women at the same time. Because I think like if you just kind of, I mean, eventually you're gonna come across that someone after hanging out with them for a while that you may want to be with. But I think like I always when I was being casual with someone for a while, I'd still go out there and do my thing as if I were single because I didn't just wanted to get away from that attachment and everything, and that helped a lot.
Didn't you go to Guatemala or am I tripping?
Did I what?
Did you go to Guatemala?
No, I didn't go to Guatemala.
On my radar, and then I thought I was like, "Ooh, I need to follow up with somebody." It ain't you. Then somebody told me today, and somebody I also know. I've been looking for some spots to go since it's places that I want to go that I can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Bali was really on my. I wish I was able to go there at least once, man. I'm sad that I didn't.
To where? To go to where?
To Bali.
Oh, Bali, you talking about?
Yeah, I want.
Your boy Eddie Fees over there. Eddie Fees is over there.
I seen enough through him because I seen enough shit that I like, and then I run the numbers and everything, and then I've been to Asian culture, so I know how to. It's that same Philippines, Thailand, that dark Asian vibe. I didn't experience that, and then go over there. But then it's just on some chill shit. Like I'm a cat. Like people, it's funny. People don't know. It's like I don't know. I'm one kind of cat, but then people only see a certain version of me and shit. I be telling cats like, I'm eccentric as fuck. Y'all be thinking I'm just like just a super player and shit. I got a whole different vibe than that, but y'all don't notice that shit because I don't know. But I want to live like a shipping container home by a lake and shit to where I gotta fucking get clearance to just on some Batman shit. That's how I want to live. Look, I'm right now. I got YouTube lights. I got fucking lights. So I'm just Batman feeling right now. That's just how I feel. And that's how I want. You had to go through hella shit to go to this house, go through some shit. Yeah, I want to be off in the cuts. And it was going to be Bali, but now I'm looking at Africa, bro. That's why I went over there, Locario, to check that shit out. I didn't go over there to fuck hoes. I went over there to see,
right.
Could I fuck with this shit for real?
Right.
And then I just said, okay, let me go to Ghana because I got connects over there, and that's the next place I'm going. Like I'm touring. I'm trying to set this shit up, baby. I'm not just saying it. But I ain't no dumbass, and I'm not no fucking guy to just do random shit because I want to rebel or something. Like, no, I'm still a planner,
Right.
It ain't like it's just, your life up. That's the thing. That you move a little different when you have options. Some cats, they just end up doing some shit in their bubble, but it's like they was put in the rock and the hard place and then they gambled. When you kind of comfortable, you kind of be like, let me see, let's see first. All right, that's cool. DR is cool, but do I really want to just wake up? Because I don't probably know all these. It'll take me like 16 months to know all these hoes over here and how they rock. And then when you look at it different. Some cats just go to escape and then they end up liking it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I know I don't want to fucking stay here. I know that for sure. My Texas gonna be my neck. See, I just came from Texas. See, you see the plan, Locario. See,
you're all over the place.
Yeah, that's what that's for. We gotta have one international and one domestic. Bay Area, fuck that. Paying $3,500. Shit, why you don't do it, Locario? You making up online bread?
I love New York too much, man. I fucking love New York too much, bro.
Hell of expensive though. You can just get your studio, podcast studio right there and then live fat somewhere else.
I love New York too much, bro. Like, I feel like I'm going to be here till forever. I don't even know.
It sounds like he doesn't want to leave.
New York hella expensive.
Oh, yeah, it is, though. That's the thing.
We second, Frisco. We second. So you looking at first and second place online right now. Two most expensive places. This shit weird. And we ain't got the best girls. I don't know why we got such a good reputation. These girls is all right. I mean, some of them good looking, but the way they move and shit ain't sauce. They like you to, even the bad ones, they be bad, but they want you to like do stuff first, and they ain't out of pocket because that's what they used to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't even, you can't even blame them like shit. I can have my homeboys. I'd be like, damn, why you take the bitch out? Now you didn't fuck. I might want now she gonna want me to match you. Like you shouldn't even did that.
Nah, that's what happens, man. You know, the real shit.
Oh
That's
God,
shit.
that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, the time somebody out. Who was in here talking?
No, someone was like spamming like a webcam thing and like adult webcam.
Oh yeah, they always have those on the fucking chat. Some random fucking goofy shit like that. You know.
Yeah. Like,
on the comments, them be the first ones. I be replying back to their ass. No, give it to the album 100. Yep, fuck that shit too. 100 to the sex shit.
Right.
Next right here with these comments. That's why to block it. But yeah, like we're getting close to an hour here, so I just want you to get like a conclusion for all this, and then you can just tell everyone where to find you. So I'll start with you, Locario.
Yeah, so I think in conclusion, man, like any of you guys out there, man, understand that your success and failure in this game is all on you. It ain't the women, it ain't the time, it ain't the social media. You have to figure out what you need to do for you to get success. So no matter if you're in a situation you don't like, you got to figure out ways to get it to be how you like it to be. You know what I'm saying? And so if that means that you got to learn certain things, learn what you got to learn and practice what you got to practice, put in the work that you got to put in to get where you need to go. And that's the only way it's going to happen. There's no shortcuts in the game, people. You know what I'm saying? I always try to get guys to there's no shortcuts in this shit. You understand? It's just like working out. Like if you out of shape and you want to get in shape, get a six pack, get muscles, there's no shortcut to that. You got to put in the work. So it's the same thing for this. You know what I'm saying? And then guys, and then make sure you guys check me out at badboymembership.com, mrlocario.com, and on Instagram at real Mr. Locario. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and definitely check out the shows. He does a great show with Steve and I every Tuesday, and he does the show every Sunday. So definitely check him out. And how about you, Afi? Any final thoughts on the subject?
I mean, this will probably piss some people off, but I'm trying to give y'all cats a cheat sheet. Y'all don't want to listen, then fine.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, and I don't. This is not no chauvinist. Just seriously. You gotta take the value off of women, bro. Like there ain't no such thing as no dimes. Women are cool. They're fun. Sex is good, but it's not like shit. It's not like if you don't have a woman, you can't breathe, or if you're not married, then you failed in life. Like take that pressure off yourself. Enjoy women when they come. And if they ready to leave, then you just enjoy yourself. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I gotta find her. I paid the money that I'm supposed to make. I got the house. Like, fuck that shit. Well, then have fun. Don't feel like, okay, now the only thing is I need the woman now. Because you picked the wrong one because you looking for it. You never find what you looking for when you looking for it, ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just get all of that shit, and then all the shit. That means you ready for it. Guys really put their life on hold and shit. Like, all right, since now I got what I'm supposed to have, now let me focus on dating because I need to find the one. Like, no, just do whatever you were doing to be successful. How come you just can't do that? You just gotta, and then she come. Why you gotta? Now I have to ship my folks to the new dating app. Like, now,
right?
No. So just take the value down a little bit. Just turn that shit down a little bit. Like enjoy women and stuff like that, but don't let it. Especially y'all cats don't even be having babies with them or nothing, bro. Still stress. Not to say that if y'all have a family, don't stress. But I'm just saying it don't even be no real attachment. Other than y'all had sex and talked on the phone for how long and shit.
Right.
Y'all ain't had no bills together or nothing. Yeah, you can't sleep without her.
Right. All craziness.
Yeah. She ain't never bought you a dinner before. No, you've been kicking it for like 16 weeks. Yeah, you paid 16 times, fool.
Right. It's crazy.
Hey, Afi, where can they find you on Instagram and your YouTube?
YouTube, Afi Kingdom Podcast, AFI Kingdom Podcast, Instagram, at King Genius Afi, and book a consultation, dominanceMindset.org.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you. And yeah, so my conclusion is, yeah, like if you want to be good at talking to women, like Locario said, you definitely have to find the time to put in the work. I realize that is very important. Like, even when you don't feel like doing it, you still have to discipline yourself to go out there and take the necessary action. Because if you just kind of, allow your fatigue or your mindset to hold you back, you're going to be stuck, and then you're going to like realize, well, when you're not having success with women, like, why am I not? You reflect on it, you're going to be like, well, it's because you're not doing anything. So it's definitely it's important that you kind of just when you just don't feel like doing it, just do it, and just go for it. And then the more you get out there and you just experience the process and everything. Yeah, at first, yeah, it's gonna suck because you're inexperienced, and yeah, you're gonna doubt yourself. But I realized that I just kept on pushing. You got to be persistent and everything. And the more you do it, like for some people, it's gonna take a little bit of time. For some people, it might take a while. But the more you just are in it and put yourself out there, the better you're gonna be, and like eventually, you're gonna get the success that you want.
And Rob,
yeah.
You're such a positive person. I bet when you get mad at your bitches, you be scaring the shit out of them. Huh? I can't picture you get it mad. I'm like, God damn. You mad and shit. You always super happy and shit.
Yeah, I try. Even when I just had that. I always had a positive mindset. Even when times are tough, I still got to kind of like push through that. That's I don't know where I get it from. I'm positive Bob or something. I don't know. But yeah, and be sure to, if you like the video, guys, like it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm actually going to be doing some morning shows, twice a week, starting next Wednesday and Friday, where I'm going to just be talking more about like goal setting and taking action in life. And then like there's going to be another morning show on Friday where I'm just going to kind of go into like a topic, with lifestyle, men's stuff, and everything like that. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. Always a blast, like always. Thank you, Mr. Locario, and thank you, Afi.
Good chopping up with you fellas.
And we look forward to chopping it up again, like next month or something. It'd be awesome.
Definitely.
Peace,
definitely, man. Rock on. Peace. You too.